Have you ever faced a situation where standing up for what's right seemed to threaten everything you hold dear? Imagine the conflict within, the heart-pounding moments where the stakes are high and the consequences severe. The story of Queen Esther isn't just an ancient tale. It's a narrative that resonates through the ages. A vivid example of valor in the face of potential personal catastrophe. Faith and courage entwined in a dramatic display of standing firm for one's people and principles. Did you know that a single decision by one woman over 2,000 years ago is celebrated by millions every year during the festival of Purim? This tale of hidden strength and strategic sagacity isn't merely a footnote in history. It's a testament to the extraordinary influence one individual's choice can have on the destiny of nations and the faith of countless generations to come. Join us as we uncover how Esther's secret not only saved her people, but continues to inspire courage and wisdom today. In the royal courts of Susa, a secret lay dormant in the heart of a queen, a secret that bore the weight of an entire people's destiny. Queen Esther, an orphan raised by her wise cousin Mordecai, found favor in the eyes of King Xerxes and became the queen of the Persian Empire. Yet, within this tale of ascension lies a nuanced challenge. The struggle to preserve one's identity amidst the allure and demands of a dominant culture. Imagine for a moment the whispers of intrigue echoing through the halls of the palace, the delicate balance between influence and invisibility that marked Esther's every move. Her Jewish heritage, hidden from the king and his court, was her silent strength, her unspoken truth that connected her to her people and to a faith that would soon demand her all. Today, we too are faced with the question of identity. In the vast tapestry of our global village, the pull to conform, to mold ourselves into the patterns deemed acceptable or successful, can be overwhelming. How do we hold on to the essence of who we are, to the core beliefs and values that define us, when the world calls for our assimilation? The story of Esther's hidden identity is not a narrative locked in antiquity. It is a beacon for all who navigate the complex corridors of identity in our modern age. It teaches us that our most defining moments often come not when our strengths are on public display, but when we stand firm in the truth that quietly defines us, even when it risks our comfort and security. Esther's time in the palace was no accident. Her rise to queenship was not just a stroke of good fortune, but a divine placement for a purpose greater than herself. As a person of faith living in the modern world, you may not find yourself in a royal court, but you will find that your positions in life are also platforms for greater purpose. How then should we live among people with different beliefs while staying true to our own? Let Esther's journey inspire us to embrace our identities with conviction, to recognize that often our silent strengths are the ones that speak the loudest when the time comes to take a stand. Let us consider the places and spaces we occupy, our workplaces, our communities, our very homes. Are these not our courts of influence where we are called to live authentically and courageously, just as Esther did in the palace of Xerxes? At the heart of Esther's story is a masterclass in strategic patience. Her intelligence wasn't just in knowing what to do, but also in discerning when to do it. In a world that often prizes immediate reactions and hastened decisions, the lesson here is countercultural, the wisdom of waiting for God's timing. As Haman's malicious plot against her people loomed, Esther didn't immediately rush to the king with accusations and pleas. Instead, she called upon her people to fast and pray with her for 3 days. Think about the depth of her choice. In the face of imminent danger, she first sought divine counsel and strength. It was an act of humility and dependence on God, a recognition that true victory comes not from hasty actions, but from coordinated prayerful strategy. Imagine a theologian lending their voice to this narrative, explaining that Esther's approach transcends time. Before any great challenge or decision, there is power in pausing to seek wisdom beyond our own. As the theologian speaks, we're reminded of the scriptures, "Be still and know that I am God." In our fast-paced digital age, where instant responses are the norm, Esther's story invites us to reconsider our approach to crisis and decision-making. How often do we pause to reflect, to pray, to fast, to seek counsel before acting? The space between problem and response can be sacred, a time where faith is not just professed, but practiced. Our actions must be grounded not just in the urgency of the moment, but in the eternal wisdom that guides us. The decisions we make in these moments of pause can reshape our destinies, just as Esther's did. Reflect for a moment on your life. Are there areas where you could benefit from this kind of strategic patience? How might your choices change if you incorporated times of reflection and seeking divine guidance before responding to the challenges before you? In the grand unfolding of Esther's story, we come to the climactic moment at the second banquet she has prepared for the king. Here, Esther finally sees an opening to expose Haman's sinister plot to annihilate her people. The wisdom with which Esther chooses this moment to act is profound. It's neither rash nor delayed. She has carefully calculated her steps, understanding the power dynamics at play in the king's favor she had cultivated. This is where Esther teaches us about the art of leverage and timing. She waits for a moment when the king's disposition towards her is at its peak, ensuring that her words would not only be heard, but would carry weight. Reflect on your own life for a moment. How can we discern the right moment to act in our own lives? Have there been situations where you paused, much like Esther, to consider the most opportune time to voice a concern or take a stand? Can you think of a time when, by waiting for the right moment, your actions had greater impact than they might have otherwise? This isn't merely about patience. It's strategic insight into human behavior and divine orchestration at work. It's also about recognizing the power of subtle wisdom over blatant force. Esther's approach contrasts sharply with the often aggressive and immediate demands of our modern world, where speaking up hastily on social media or in personal conflicts can be valorized. Esther's story is calling us to reflect on our level of discernment and to engage in conversations about what it looks like to apply this kind of wisdom today. Consider the cost of speaking too soon or too late, and the value of seeking God's guidance in our timing. What could change in our communities if more people embrace the humility to wait for the right moment? How different could our personal stories unfold if we practiced the pause that Esther did? Take a moment and share your thoughts with us. When did you feel prompted to wait before acting, and how did it change the outcome? Your experiences, much like Esther's, have the power to encourage and guide others in their moments of decision. Delve into the consequences of Esther's revelation and the aftermath. By exposing Haman's plot, Esther not only saves her people, but also initiates a series of events that lead to the empowering of Mordecai and the elevation of the Jewish community within the Persian Empire. Imagine the scenario. The same gallows that Haman had built for Mordecai become the instrument of his own downfall. This is the kind of divine justice that flips the script, turning intended harm into a cause for blessing. The biblical narrative goes beyond just a story of personal triumph. It serves as a metaphor for the vindication of the oppressed. It demonstrates that often, justice may not come in the ways we expect, and it's not always on our timeline. Consider how this idea of reversal reflects in our world today. Many look for immediate solutions, but sometimes resolution requires patience and an understanding that the scales of justice balance in time. Take the concept of advocacy in modern times. How many have labored tirelessly for change, feeling as though their efforts were unseen, only for a sudden shift to bring their cause to light and their work to fruition? Just as Mordecai's loyalty was eventually recognized by the king, so too can the righteous actions of individuals and communities be acknowledged in due course. Visualize with me how the pieces fall into place. A queen speaks, a villain falls, and the oppressed rise. These elements not only craft an epic tale, but they also invite us to seek out the Esthers among us, the quiet revolutionaries who stand against the tide in anticipation of justice. Reflect on moments when you've witnessed or been part of a transformation where the improbable became possible. Where might we see the hand of something greater moving within our stories, orchestrating events toward justice and redemption? As we navigate through our complex contemporary challenges, let's be inspired by Esther's example to persevere in faith, work for justice, and trust in the unfolding of a larger narrative. Share a story of reversal from your own life, where an unexpected turn of events led to a surprising outcome, a testament to the mysterious ways in which our actions intersect with the divine plan. As we conclude this journey through the story of Esther, we are reminded that the true power of her secret was in her steadfast faith and wise timing. Her story isn't just one of personal triumph, but a calling to all of us to be courageous, to stand for what is right, and to trust in a larger plan. In what ways are we called to exhibit such courage and wisdom in today's world? And so we invite you to join us in reflection. Share your experiences and insights in the comments below. Have you ever had an Esther moment where discretion, courage, and faith guided your actions? We look forward to reading your stories and learning together. If you found inspiration in Esther's tale, please consider subscribing for more content like this and share this video to spread the message of courage and faith. Don't forget to check out our upcoming discussions and features as we continue to explore the beautiful interplay between ancient wisdom and modern life. There is much we can learn from the past, and together we can draw strength for the future. Thank you for watching, and may you find your path enlightened by the divine light of wisdom and truth.